Just kick off these shoes and relax your feet. Spark a L, count some melon, just roll with me. Lou Lee, game spitter, you off top, I'm hot. I am legendary, homie, like the great Tupac. It won't stop when I'm giving y'all a game is real. Graduated from underground to a world I feel. What's the deal? You know I'm trying to make $1 million or so. I want it all for I'm gone, I know you're feeling me, yo. Had to speed up my hustling because this game too slow. Niggas try to hold me back, so I went so low. Check the flow, how I do it, yo, it's so for real. Got all the major labels trying to give me a deal. So how you feel? I'ma chill, yo, and handle my own beats. Street teams and A&Rs, homie, you know me. Cuz who just showed me the $100 bill.
Black cards, unlimited cash flow for real.
I want it all. Money, fast cars, diamond rings, gold chains, and champagne. This every damn thing, I want it all. Houses, expenses, my own business, a truck, and a couple of Benzes. I want it all. Brand new socks and drawers, and I'm ballin' every time I stop and talk to y'all. I want it all.
Yeah.
Yo,
What up? What up? What up?
we are back. Big D keeping it real. G-Lew, the G-Lew show. Let's talk about it. Back for another spill, y'all. What's up, everyone? What's popping?
How's it going, everybody, man? You know who it is. Your boy Big D and G-Lew. Welcome back.
Yeah, yay.
Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it.
Yeah, yay. What up, Big D? What's popping, homie? How you doing tonight, bro?
I'm pretty blessed, man. How about yourself, brother?
Doing good, homie. You know what I mean? Feeling good. You know what I mean? It's a great day. You know, that's what we're going to talk about today. Voting, the power of voting, why we vote, and why it's important, you know, because I know a lot of people may think it's not. You know, I was even one at one time that did. It was one time I couldn't vote. You know what I mean? So it's so many things with this voting thing, and then it's just out of respect because, you know, we'll talk about it. I'll let Big D take it over, but break everything down, Big D.
Right, man. Like I said, man, we got to make sure, you know, people that, you know, through our country, you know, from past to beyond present, that this country has been through a lot. But we have established and moved forward and transitioned to where we have a voice. So, you know, and one of our, you know, citizenship, and as far as being American, we have a privilege to vote.
Right.
So, you know, with that being said, man, I don't know how many of you guys voted, but I participated. I voted today. Yeah.
Yay.
I think my Big Monica voted today. You know what I'm saying? She did her thing.
What up, sis?
You know, she's right here. She's doing her woman deeds. You know, shout out, baby. G-Lew said, "What's up?" She's good. She knows that we're I did a lot of barbecue, so it's Mexican food tonight.
Hold up, Big D? Do you think you do more barbecuing than you do actual cooking, or is it both, or what? Because I see you barbecuing a lot, bro.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Big deal. Get on the grill in a minute, homie.
Well, we could say that, you know what I mean? We have actually a voting situation right here, you know what I mean? Where we come out and we do the whole, you know, let's vote. And, you know, one day it's the old lady, the other day it's, you know, Poppy doing this thing, man. So we participate. That's the main thing. And I think that's tonight what it's all about. You know, we share the weight and we try to share each other's wealth. But one thing, like, you know, let's get down to it, man. You know, first of all, how many of you guys voted? Check it out. Leave it in the comments today, tomorrow, or when you come across this video, man. You know, just make sure you guys tap in. Make sure you guys leave in the comments. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and let us know what you guys are doing. Because if you're feeling us, we're feeling your vibe at the same time. We appreciate everybody just stopping by, man. But like I said, I just want to go into the subject, right? You know, moving forward, you know, like I said, our voting rights have come a long way. You know, nothing's done perfectly in this country. Like I said, everything has a past. Everything has a beginning, and also right now in presentation to the future. You know, voting has got a long way if you know the history of it, and pretty much, you know, it's tough to say how, you know, I mean, how people get into transition and how our opinions and voices get heard. So, you know, going down a little bit to history, man, we got to go take it way back, man. From this,
go way back.
You know, we got to go way back. Let's take it way back. You know, when all civilization was all started in this part of the world, man, North America, right? From the 13 colonies, they brought their government ship over here, and it's
hold up.
All right.
What we're gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. I like that. We're gonna go way back. So basically, this country was built, on white privilege. I'll say that. Okay.
Let's talk
The
about it.
people the people who were started the voting and made all those rules and regulations. It started from the white man, and where the only white man was able to vote. Farmers were able to vote, or those who have farm and have money that were able to put together had that privilege. And throughout that transition, how are you going to govern something that has different race, different colors, and trying to get all ethnic groups together, right? So with that being said, there's been a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles and a lot of hurdles that this country had to come through and persevere. To be honest with you, we all know, shout out to Martin Luther King, right? He did that walk and that march. Went from one city to another, and my Black community could have more voting rights. And these are the lead ways and the transition. Like, you got to understand, back then, if you were voting back then, why wouldn't you vote now? Maybe back then things were more serious. Maybe things are more, there's more challenges back then that we had, to outcome and persevere. Our forefathers have. Go ahead.
I had a question about too, big. I don't know if it's true. I maybe need to talk to maybe my mom or something. She was at the end of all that, but I wonder if it was like you said, how people push people of color, brown and black, or even women later, pushed to vote so hard. Obviously, it was needed, and they wanted their voice heard. But I wonder what made them, because like you see today, like people don't take it serious or whatever, don't think it matters. Back then, you would think that even more, because being that it was segregated and all these things, people first couldn't even vote. Why do you think they would vote and believe that their vote would be taken serious, or like how they have voting, how they mess with the votes and the polls? Like, I'm sure it wasn't fair all the way. Like, where do you think people still got the courage and wanted to vote and wanted to be a part of this, knowing that it was even maybe corrupt, especially back then?
Right. Well, back then there was more to it. There was a lot that was taking place. There was a lot on the plate that was, come on. If you were a black or brown man back then, and they were telling you you were not eligible to vote, how would you feel about that? So the community gathered together, because you're not going to oppress us. You're not going to put us down. We're going to come together. We're going to march from here to here. It doesn't matter what color we are. And that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, that's how your voice and that's how everything gets heard when you become a community. Doesn't matter color, because there's only really 2-3 colors that are really naturally in this world. Let's be honest: black, brown, and white. Everything else after that is segregated by different, heritage, different communities, different everything else. You got Portuguese, Mexicans, African Americans, Norwegians, Alaskans. That's the only thing. There's only 3 colors that are here. You know what I mean? So it's crazy how human being and humanistic, will try to suppress us based on color, when actually it's not that. So, like I said, and you got to remember, Martin Luther King, 1965, led that movement, right? He led the people, right? They went from, it was black and brown and white all together, went, from one city to one city. I think it was from Selma
to Birmingham
to Montgomery, right?
Montgomery, yeah.
Alabama. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't matter, who was there. After that, you got to remember, after that, 5 months later, they were able to pass a bill where black men were able to vote, brown men were able to vote, and it started a cycle. It started a movement, right? Today we call it, a movement. When you see a community get together and they're trying to be heard, it's a movement, right? Shout out to the LGBT community movement.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them, because they made them. I have to credit them for doing what they did. That's like one of the biggest movements in the world right now, bro. Damn.
Where did it come from? That's why we're able to.
They were able to do that. Right.
Exactly. That's why we're able to vote, because of our forefathers and our leaders back then. We're able to go and meet that milestone for us for today, to have that still privilege today. And they come out there, they made amendments, the 14th Amendment, First Amendment, Second Amendment. I mean, amendments and things are always created because of our because of us. Right. Because we get to go on there and we get to come as a community, and we get to take this, to where your district and or wherever your Congress, your senator, and this and that, and they put it on a ballot and we make an amendment, right? So go ahead.
No. I just wanted to comment on this, what Brenda said, because I didn't know that. But she said there was also a time when certain white people couldn't vote.
Right.
You know about that?
Yeah, because everything back then, like I said, it was educated people. You know what I'm saying? That's the only people they are. Whether you had to be white, you had to be a farmer, or you had to be educated.
You said that. You said that. Yeah.
So you know what I mean. That's why even hard if you're white, it didn't matter because you in other words to them, you're not really representing what they represented back then, and that was wealth and rich and color, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now America has changed. You know what I mean? Because America was not just has been made by just one ethnic group. It's been all groups, right? We all come together. We're all Americans. That's why. And if you're born here, we have that beautiful ability to get up and go vote and make a contribution to your community or to your local government or to your local country. Basically, man, I'll say the overall it's the country. But like I said, there's been milestones, man. You know what I mean? Look at Abraham Lincoln. If it wasn't for him, he was able to free, the blacks, for coming and, for them to vote, accepting them in the community and after the war. Everybody forgets about the Revolutionary War and so forth. So there's a lot of history besides, wow, people, it amazes me how people just sit down and relax. Like me, back then, I wasn't all into that, man. I was down for the gangster party, and that's it.
We weren't thinking about that. Then it was, go ahead. Yeah, we weren't thinking about voting.
We were not thinking about that. But the thing is that later on, and now I started seeing things that are affecting us in our home. And now I'm being a law-abiding citizen. I'm not a gang member. No, I got responsibility, accountability. I got things that are affecting me. Let's talk about it, man. What's bothering? What are you guys bothering today?
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it.
Things like I said, man. Things have tradition, and now a lot of people say that this country's been divided, that we don't have no voice. My opinion don't matter. That's not wrong. That's a wrong narrative. Whoever's feeding you guys that, you guys really got to evaluate yourself or check who you're hanging around with, because this country's movement has been going forward from this far. In other words, in 1920, women were able to vote, right? Come on, women were not able to vote back then. During the Vietnam War, since they sent men that were 18 years old to go fight over there in Vietnam, you had to be 21 years in order to vote, in the country. But they changed that in 1965. If you could send an 18-year-old guy over there to Vietnam and die, then he has the privilege and the right to vote at 18 years old. Now, if you look at it to today's society, now the eligibility to vote is 17. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. This country has grown. But the thing is us people, we the people have not pushed forward and used that voting right. That's what it is. And a lot of people are scared or, or sometimes, I don't want to say, I'll say to use the word arrogant. Arrogant doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you don't have you don't have the knowledge.
Yeah,
and some of us don't. Right? You have to have the knowledge. Like I said, I didn't obtain all this and I didn't get all this in one night or one day. It just started making sense to me because, let's talk about it, man. Stuff's really hurting my pocket right now, man. People are going through some times, man. Unless you're rich or, you have that nice 9 to 5, which, a lot of us do. But how are you going to explain for the gas going up?
Hey, and tell the importance. Look. Not only that, because people, like a lot of people, like we're saying, don't see the importance of voting or don't care or whatever, right? But not only the importance of voting, but these times of voting, the midterms or whatever you call them, where we have the senators and all the props and all these things that affect you, like you were just about to talk about gas and all these things. Right. This is where it's really important, but as a lot of times been overlooked. You know what I mean? Like people, even if not all voters always vote, but certain voters that are new to voting think maybe it's only important when the presidency voting, when a lot of times that's the least most important. These are the more important ones now, right? So speak on that.
Right. So basically, from my understanding, these are your local ones, right? Every state has your local governor, senator, and then you got your own House, Republicans, and so forth. You got your city council, you got your school boards, and so forth, man. I got kids that go to school. I have a daughter that goes to school, so I want to make sure that I want the right. It's all about presentation and who's going to represent you and your community the way you want to be governed. Let's just be honest, right? We pay taxes. Why wouldn't you want to vote if you're paying taxes? Because the government will take your money. You know what I'm saying? Whether you vote or not, you know what I mean? They don't really care. It's a privilege. You know what I mean? You're paying for it. You know what I mean? You're paying to go, you know what I mean, to have one thing. If there's one thing so far in this country that they haven't taken away from us, is our rights. Unless you break the law.
Right.
If you break the law, then hey, there's consequences to be paid. But that's what you look into. You can't you got to look into, and what's, politics is a tough thing to handle and to understand, just like religion. Nobody wants no
Those
part
are
of it.
two. Yeah,
Nobody
those are
wants to talk
two
about it. Nobody
that's
wants
the
to talk
most controversial. You may not even think about it. You'll be in an argument before you know it. You know what I mean? Because you find out different things. People would agree or disagree, and you find out people take it more serious than you thought.
right,
So
right. Because there's
politics
things,
and
yeah,
religion.
big time. Because these are things that are affecting your everyday life without you
Facts.
even seeing it. You don't see it when they take it off your check until the day you get paid. You know,
Right.
the day you get paid, it says you got taxes for this, taxes for that, tax. You're like, Dad, this government, Uncle
Even
Sam,
think about that person, right, who just won the 2 billion or 1.9, whatever, right? They
right?
said after taxes, they would get 424. How do we go from 2 billion to 424 million, bro?
Because these
I mean,
leaders
I'll
that
take it though, but I'm just saying though. How do we go, I'll take it, but I'm just saying, how do we go from 2 billion to 4 point something, 424?
right,
Taxes.
because in other
Shout out
words,
to
like I
Altadena.
said,
Someone at Altadena won, I heard. Shout out to them. But go ahead, bro.
right, and like I said, what's up, everybody? Shout out to everybody. How you guys doing? Hey, if you guys voted, let me tell you, if you guys voted today, give a thumbs up. If you didn't vote, hey, I'm not mad at you, man. Hit a thumbs down. But like I said, man,
You
it
gotta
goes.
take a fade. You gotta take a fade. You gotta DP. Nah.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, try next year, right? Try next year. Try in 2 years. So that's what I'm saying. It's sometimes it goes hand in hand, right? And you gotta have it's the person, like I said, what's doing is how does Uncle Sam say it? Don't ask what you could do for your country. Don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you
That's
could
what
do
you
for
could
your
do for your
country.
country.
And basically you got to go out there and just make that representation. You got to pay attention. That's why religion and government is, these are some sensitive
That's why
topics.
I made a post the other day. I said knowledge, because a lot of people knowledge and
I saw
stuff
that.
is free. It's not free. You got to pay attention still.
You have to, and then you wonder why. You got some people representing you. I know a lot of you guys have seen this, saying you have I don't know if it was a senator or a governor saying that, hey, man, it's all right because we're going through this situation. Just eat some chef for your D. I couldn't believe he said
All
that
right,
publicly,
funny.
man.
Right, right.
This gentleman came out, like, if I saw that on TV, which we did, some of us, and he was representing my state, my city, my children, or whatever, this guy is out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Because for one thing, I'm Chicano, man. I ain't gonna eat chef for your D. I'll eat beans and rice.
Right,
What I'm
right.
saying? But I ain't gonna eat chef for your D. I'm gonna be straight up, people. And these are the people, man, that are representing you, not really caring. Say, in other words, if so-called they're not suffering, they make money. The rich get rich and the poor get poor. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody says, we don't want to talk about the guy who's going to, Mr. T. We'll call him Mr. T. You know what I'm saying? From the Republican side, people come out representing and say some foul things. Who doesn't? I'm guilty of it, man. I said a lot of arrogant, stupid stuff that didn't make sense to people, to aggravate them, piss them off, so forth. But don't judge me on what I say. Judge me on what I do, because that's the thing that matters. You know what I'm saying? If you're putting money in my pocket and then my bills are lower and I'm able to travel, spend time the way sometimes heirs are, then I'm doing good for the community. I'm doing good to my service, pay my taxes, and also, my government is taking care of me.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you put out there and what they say and what they've been guilty of. People make mistakes, people, right? Nobody got mad when Bill Clinton did his thing. Shout out to Bill Clinton. He got caught, but did it make him a bad president? Heck no, it didn't, man. A lot of people
Bill
flourish.
was too cool. He was like,
He was too cool, man. He was just, at
cool.
some point we made bad judgments. It's a humanistic thing, whether it's government, choices in life, children. It just happens. But it happens because you're not educating yourself, or you're not participating. And this is a thing that kind of upsets me too, people, because people have been killed. They have been beaten. Buildings have been burned. Things have been crossed and things have been said because of our color, because of our gender, because of our, our sexual orientation and so forth, right? And it's funny how when things come together and we don't like certain things, we gather and we get together as a community and we represent. On this day, today, we didn't have to do that. It was your choice. It was your own free will. All you had to do was show up. All you had to do was mail it in. And maybe you think like, how is this one person gonna make an effect on millions in this country? Well, you know what, the whole thing, the Bible says when 2 or 3 are gathered, you know what I mean? God is there, man. All it takes 2 or 3 more people, you know what I mean, to be there, and the presentation's there. And us, I don't want to hear, you know, a lot of times that we are complaining, why is this happening? Why is gas prices up right now? Why is the food going up right now? Why is this going up right now? Because in reality, we haven't made our voice, and we hadn't. Now we don't really have to go out there and scream and yell. All we got to do is go and cast your ballot. That's the difference. Those people already led the trailway. Those are the trailblazers. Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, and there are all those people so forth. They already did and made freedom more freedom than what it is than was back then. In the 60s, that we have more privileges and more rights than we did in the 60s. In the 60s, we had more. In the 60s, they had more privileges, more rights, somewhat better than the 1700s or the 1800s. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. You guys got to understand, man, that this country is only not even 300 years old. Right? You know what I'm saying? We're still a young country, man. You know what I'm saying? We are descendants and from Europeans, from other continents, Africa, Mexico, and so forth, you know? And we came here into this country, and we're trying to make things better. But I'll tell you one thing, a lot of people have been following the United States for the last 50 to 60 years because we represent not only the world, but we represent ourselves. So we say that us, black, brown, and all these communities can't get together and we can't do it. It's a darn lie. I'll tell you that right now. Because if this country we already had our revolution. Okay, we had our southerner against the northerner, right? We already abolished and defeated slavery, right? We already defeated so many things, you know what I mean, to let all people come together, women, you know, women as well, teens as well. Now we'll say teens because you know teens are able to vote right now at 17 years old. We have passed that milestone where we say, "Oh, I don't make a difference. I don't make a difference."
And we have to understand we do, because that's what they're afraid of. They know when the black and brown vote is so powerful. For so many years and so many past years and decades, it was so small, and they like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? But now that the presence is being known and it's shown like by different things, turnouts, we've had that the vote matters when certain amount of people turn out, mainly the black and brown. That has been the turn of the last few elections. Presidency, that's Obama got in, you know, even whoever, you know what I mean? It was because of because the voting changed and more black and browns turned out, and they realized those numbers count. They can make changes.
They matter.
They can make a big change in what the turnout is in some of these elections.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So and with everything, period. That's why even while we do this show, we have to understand people that together, man, we are so powerful. And together alone, and even together within our own community, because black and brown, you know, we have a lot of issues to get even in house, but we get that together. But then when we get that together and come together though as one, we are too powerful, man. We don't have to always agree with her. It's not about that, but it's about coming together, making that presence known, and knowing what we can do together, and it could be powerful, man.
Well said, brother. Well said. And you know, and elaborating on what he's saying, you gotta understand, man. Politics are everywhere. Okay. You know, I just been in county jail, and there's politics are straight up in there, right? You could be in a bike.
You said the politics have changed in the county.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right. Hey, you go to a motorcycle group, there's politics. You know what I'm saying? There's always
there's
politics everywhere you go. You don't want to know why? Because I hate to say it, people need to be governed. You know what I'm saying? There's, you know, you got to know your limits. You know, you got to know what you can do. You got to stay in your lane and what you can do, and stay off that person's lane. You know what I'm saying? And that's what separates us from, you know, I mean, different communities, different groups, different lifestyles. But in the end, like I said, you could agree and disagree. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, just don't make no war over it. You know, and sometimes it comes to that because it depends on who's trying to suppress us. And when we say suppress us, who's always the one that's trying to suppress us, right? We always blame the government and the law. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the government and the law, the only ones that you guys want to be. But like I said, we have that choice. We have that opportunity. And that's what we're leading up to right now in today's thing. Like I said, who voted, who did it. Voting is an American privilege, man. We're born here. Take advantage of that. If you could do anything and say and make a difference, man, you believe what one person what could do. I saw Pops. He sent me today a picture that he voted today. I was pretty stoked, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I mean, I gotta represent. I felt bad. Like I would feel bad if I did not vote. You know what I mean?
Right,
And then I gotta hear from like even my mom text me this morning. Did you vote? I
right.
said, man,
And
I
I
didn't
want,
vote. Mom, I'm going.
and I want
You
people
know
to,
what I mean?
yeah, I want people to know that black and brown, we're voting.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
it doesn't matter who you're voting for, what, proposition, you got to be educated. You got to know what fits for your community, for you, and what's not. I don't want a representative. I feel sorry, to tell you the truth, the representative that said that we have to eat Chef Boyardee. I know he's not in California. That, that's why we got to dig in. I mean, is that really how we really got to dig in? And we got to eat canned food, man. Like, that's not even
Hey,
healthy, to be honest with you,
hey,
man.
let me ask you this though. How do we or I don't know if it is a way, but how do we go about making sure the people we vote for or elect be held accountable sometimes for things we don't feel are being done? Because that's a lot of things, and why a lot of people are discouraged, which we hear a lot of people discouraged about, is that, oh, when the people get in office, they don't do anything, or they don't do the things they promised they said they were going to do. What
Right.
about that part, and what keeps some people discouraged about that fact? And what can we do to hold people accountable that are supposed to be doing things that they promised they would do?
Right. I think people that have their first stakes and their first takes when they get into that position, they go on their first day, their first job, and I think maybe in some sense they're overwhelmed, and they got to take some over somebody else's, what I mean, job. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they implemented or put in, what I mean, they got to put. Then that's like me trying to get into some, and if I'm going to take somebody else's belt or seat or whatever, I got to do it my way now. So a lot of things have to change, and some things take time. Not everything's done in one night. But if these officials and you feel like what I mean, they're not doing for what's for your community and what's going for you, what you voted for, then what they always tell you, right? Go to your local officials and make complaints. Go to your local, what I mean, leaders in your community and
So
everything
where
else.
does one go that doesn't know? Say they're a first time voter or last year, and they like, man, I'm upset. But what can I do besides go out here and protest? Where can they go complain, or where can they go see about these things? To the city hall, or what? Like, where do they go?
So for instance, I'll say like this. They'll say
Or write a call.
yeah, I'll say like I'll use the Board of Education community, right? The
Okay.
schooling. What I mean? I'll call the school and say, hey, what I mean? I want to make a complaint. Where do I go? And they'll tell you, I want to make a complaint on a teacher. I want to come make a complaint about a principal. Then, you got to go to your local. They'll tell you, hey, where can I go making a complaint at? They'll be like, hey, go to your city hall, your local city hall. And, what I mean? Pull this up and make a complaint on this individual. What I mean? Go to your local county, make on this district. I think mostly it starts where your city's at first, because you're not going to take over the whole county, dog. Because there's many cities in the county,
Right,
dog. You know what I mean?
right, exactly.
You have to go to your local city.
City hall.
Yeah,
Where you
city
start.
hall. Go out there, make a complaint. It's like if you want to make a complaint about the police officer, you got to go to his local department. Hey,
Right,
sir,
right,
what's your badge and name number? You know what I'm saying? And it's
right.
our right. See, as citizens, you got to know your right, because what I mean, the police officers work for us. How many of you guys are educated in that
Facts,
area? For
facts.
us, being citizen and pay, they work for us. See, that's the privilege of being and voting and making a difference. We pay our taxes, so guess what? The law actually works for us. But if you don't know the law, the cop is going to run all over you. You're right. But if you
And
tell
that's
them,
that's I'm glad you spoke on that, because a lot of times people or homies, you know what I mean, or we get pulled with certain things and we just don't know our rights. So sometimes we let them do things
exactly,
they don't have to do, or we put ourselves in a more situation that we don't have to, but just knowing our rights, we don't have to do that. Instead of cussing them out and saying F you to make them get aggressive. If we knew our rights, we already know you can't do this, you can't do that.
that's
You
right.
know what I mean? But we
Yeah,
don't know that.
I'll tell
And
you.
they
I'll
take
tell you.
advantage of that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You do know that, because you know what? Because you could. What's the Fifth Amendment? I plead the what?
I plead the fifth. Yeah. Yeah, but people don't. But yeah, people obviously don't know that though, because they don't plead the fifth.
Yeah, I don't gotta say nothing. I plead the
Hey,
Fifth. See how
plead
far
the fifth, or even
right?
all these first 48 shows.
Right.
I plead the fifth. I want to speak to my lawyer, and they got to stop right there.
That stop right there. That's our given right. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. People don't realize that, and how much you do implement the law if you know the law. You know what I'm saying? You got to know the law.
That part.
But unless you're not we the people of the United States, you know what I mean? If you're not the people and representing and not knowing your rights and your amendments and your laws, the cops are going to take advantage of you, just like your local city governments, your whoever your senators that you put up there. Yeah, you could put the wrong person up there. It's happened. You know what I'm saying? Then you go make a complaint and say, hey, you know what? Those government officials, they work for us too. You guys know that, right? They work for us. Your local senator, your local governor, your city council, they work for us. Why? Because we pay tax.
Miranda rights. And that's where I think, like, I seen Elia put something up there earlier. She took a what was it? A class, politics class.
Politics.
That's dope. But I think people, like, we need to teach that more in not only getting people out to vote in inner cities, in the hoods, the ghettos, the projects,
know your rights,
but learning people, getting people to learn their rights and the laws and different things, because a lot of times we just don't know them. So
Absolutely.
we're ignorant to that. And like you said, that's why we get taken advantage of the most. They can come in your neighborhoods and beat you up and do all these crazy things because you know your rights. All you're going to do is cuss them out and fight back with them. And that's going to give you a reason to fight more. And then they have a reason why they jacked you up in the first place. We just got to learn our rights more. And because see, that's why inner cities are the most where they do all this stuff. They do the most damage to us, the most police brutalities, beatings. And then that's why too the inner cities don't get the help that they need, the money to fix roads, signs, stoplights, all these things, because the people are not complaining and talking about it. So that money that may be going there is not going to that because you never knew the money was there because people don't care enough to check into it. And that's why the inner cities are not getting the proper support they need. And then when you go to Beverly Hills or Wilshire or whatever, or the nice neighborhoods, they got all that.
Yeah.
And the police are not going to be over there doing that to them because they can't get away with it because they know their rights.
Exactly, man. Couldn't say it any better. And they got 15 gang members and 2 different gang member groups over there in Beverly Hills. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to call their local city people.
Yeah.
Call their local government and their state official and make a big complaint and say Beverly Hills looking bad. We got gangsters. We can't have this.
Right.
There's drug dealers, homeless people here. And guess what they're going to do? Get them off the streets because this community, you know, is putting money.
They ain't playing that. They're going to come up there and complain and talk and do all that every day.
They're big donors to a lot of these.
That's another thing. It's a big, yeah.
You got to understand people, you know what I mean? The people are donating, right? They called me many times, and whether you donate $10, $20, you're contributing. You're allowing these people to be successful and running their narrative. Now if you don't understand, it's like me, like I don't know what G-Lew stands for or what he's going, but I'm just gonna give him money and just go for it. Well, what the heck? Then after G-Lew does something wrong and misinterpreted what he says, guess whose fault is it? You know, I'm like, oh my God, man, G-Lew, he wasn't the well. Did you learn from it? Did you understand? Now I got to go through the whole front door instead of going through the back door and be like, I want to make a complaint. We got to get him out of here. Let's get 5 million votes so we could get him out of here. That's what happened to Governor Newsom, right? He says one thing, right? COVID, he began COVID. He shut down the whole Los Angeles, man, this and that. And then he was over there partying and having gatherings where he was at. I mean, that's hypocritical. We don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? It happens. Sometimes we get screwed in the, you know, they say in the rear, you know, and you got to change gears, you know, straight up, you know. But this happens only because we're not participating or paying attention, you know. And that right now, there's a lot of things that people are concerned about, right? Like I said, gas is one of them. Inflation's another. You know, border's another. You know, all these things contribute to what happens in today's economy because you got to understand, what do you call that, Pops? Do you know when they come every 5 or 10 years and you have to vote that thing, or what is that, babe? Where you got to represent yourself. You got to show yourself, right?
Oh, the census.
Say it again.
The census.
The census. There you go. Yeah. And this is how they know who's here and who's not here. And it's crazy because you don't want to learn about them and know about them, but guess what? They want to know about you.
Know about you, for sure.
They want to know who you are. They want to know where you're at. You know, they want to make sure that, hey, you know what I mean, that you're paying your taxes, and if you're legally here, and if you're this and you're that, that's what I'm saying. And there's nothing wrong the way how things have evolved from back then to where they are now. It's just a way of government. It's governing the people. Guess what? We are the people. But at the same time, as American citizens, they work for us. We don't work for them. We pay their mortgage, their paychecks, everything else, from all the way from everything from the police department all the way to the president of the United States. You know, they work for us. You know, all those officials, we represent them, we nominate them, we put them in office, and guess what? They work for us. They work for your community, your city, your local city, and so forth. And that's what we need to understand right now. But there's a lot of things that are taking place right now, people. A lot of
Let's
things.
talk about
You know?
it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk
That's the
about
sticker.
it.
If you guys like that one, man, give it a thumbs up. If you guys like that little intro, man, I love it. I'm digging it.
That's hard right there.
So, like I said, man, let's talk about the first one, man. You know, I've seen government officials talk about whether it's gas or, you know what I mean, it could be another subject, right?
Mhm.
Right now, I'm telling you guys, gas is hitting my pocket. You know what I mean? And I've been seeing it and hearing it on other channels and other people, other little,
Gas
you
is
know,
ridiculous.
the Instagram. People are making
California, gas is oh my God, dog. Hey,
you feel it
California
right
is
here.
on me. But it's so bad, like, and they know it. I think it's to the point where it's so bad and we know it, but what else can you do? You almost just get used to it and just it gets almost desensitized. But when you look back at it in hindsight, like, dude, come on,
But
man.
who the hell wants to
Damn
get
near
slapped
$7 for
every day?
gas, dog, for a gallon of gas. Like,
Bro, it's a
come on, man.
government official. It's a direction of one man. All he has to do, instead of seeking everywhere else, going out and trying to get export oil from every other country when we have it here. We could develop it here. We could put people working here. You know what I'm saying? That's how it runs. This United States has a lot of riches. You know what I mean? When it comes to
Yeah.
elements, you know what I mean? We have soil, agriculture, we have gas, we have so forth. And why do we got to go call, you know what I mean, Russia or Venezuela, all these countries that don't like us, Saudi Arabia, you know what I mean, and try to ask them for oil when we have it here? But it has to do with politics. Right now, the way with gas, man, they're trying to choke us out. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
And
are
these
you a
people,
fan? With that being said, are you a fan of where technology is going to come in with the electrical cars? It's slowly becoming a thing. Well, probably in the next 10 years, 15 years, it will probably be all electric. When you talk about gas, it's kind of because I'm not a fan. I'm not really sold on it. Like, 'cause, you know, I guess we're old school. It's like almost like forcing us to do this electric thing. I'm not always sold on it, but
right,
when you talk about gas and all these things, you think maybe it is good. But I think how they work the economy once electrical, you're going to be paying the same thing. They're going to make it a way where it's still right.
my brother, you said it perfectly. They're forcing us. Why you got to
Forcing
force
us,
us?
homie.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Let it transition. They don't even, if there was a major disaster, depending where you're at, there's not even enough
That's
enough
that's why I
partners
said I'm not sold
to
on that, because at
cars.
least with gas, I can stop right here at the gas station to get gas. Electric,
Exactly.
you have to find a port or whatever. I'm just, even when I rent a car, they try to give me a Tesla, right? We'll give you the same. Like, no, I don't, even it's a Tesla, I don't want it, man, because I'm not hip with this electrical stuff,
Right,
man.
right. And
Nah,
it's not
bro.
to be scared of, you know, because people are doing it. But then again, you know what I mean? How you said it, they're trying to push us in that narrative, and no government officials or anything shouldn't be pushing us to do anything. But they
Right.
take advantage of it because guess what? They're in charge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We put
Right.
them in the office and we can't do a
Facts.
damn thing if you voted them in. You know what I'm saying? That's where it goes to. Not to say right now, whoever, I'm just trying to show you all the analytics towards it, how
Right.
much voting and power comes behind our votes and what we say. Because once you put that individual in, it's hard to get them
Out.
out. And that's what I'm saying. And once you go in there and they start having a different narrative and start changing what they first said they were recommending, and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, guess what? You know, that now they're running a different narrative, not really working for you, not helping you, has nothing to do with your everyday suffering or hardship or anything so forth. And now you're pissed off. You know what I mean?
Hey,
And then you got
like,
then you got your people outside that didn't vote.
yeah. That's one thing. Like you said, we talk about politics and all this stuff when because I used to hear like a lot of people having arguments. You know, when you argue amongst people, discussions, right? Debates, and you may be the loudest person saying all this, what's wrong with this and that, but they're the
Right.
main one that didn't vote. I'd be like, well, did you vote? No, I didn't vote. I don't believe so. You really, I just look at it like you don't have an argument, and not that you don't, but not in the sense of you talking about what's wrong or what's going on, and then you have the right to vote and you don't do anything. So you know what I mean.
You want to know?
So it
Well, you
kind of
want to
takes
know?
you out that equation. But sometimes they are the loudest ones. Trust me, I've seen it.
And you know what's the beauty about it, pops? They have the right not to vote.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah.
They
But then
do.
you don't have the right to complain though.
You
And
don't have a right to
that's all
complain.
I'm saying. Even if your complaint is valid, you can't complain if you didn't participate. You know what I mean? You can't. I'm just keeping it real.
That's episode next week. You don't have the right to complain, man. Seriously,
That's real,
let's
bro.
talk about it. Let's talk. See, that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying as a community, bro. You just said it. You got one group that says yay, and the other community says nay. Now, if you ain't part of the solution, then you're part of the
Problem.
problem. And not voting is
There's
not
a lot of
really.
problems out here.
It's not really. It's a God given, since we're born here, a right for us. But please, like Pops just said, if you ain't gonna vote, don't complain.
Yeah, don't
You know what I'm
complain.
saying?
Just,
Don't,
just,
please.
just,
You know what I
just
mean?
fall back.
Just
You
do
know
what
what
the
I
other
mean?
senator, the governor, the official said, man. Just eat your macaroni and microwave and go and suffer. Because that's
Yeah.
basically what it is. What you do and people going out there made a difference. And now we're just talking about gas right now. What about food? Food is
Yeah,
going up the
that's
yang yang,
another.
man.
Yeah,
Milk over
food,
here, crazy.
milk,
You know,
stuff
eggs.
for babies. What is that stuff for babies?
On the
Similac? What is
how's
it?
the
I don't know.
government not ready to have freaking infamil babies? Infamil, man. Now
Yeah,
let's talk about it, man. Straight out, man.
yeah, that's crazy,
That
huh?
kind of shows you who's paying attention and who's not. Why do we have to call Israel and these other countries to provide that we have a shortage in this country of some infamil? That just drives me crazy, man. Gas is one thing, but infamil is another. And we got to understand, people. See, it's not fun and games, man, because if you, my child's grown, and those that had to go through it and suffer through it and worry about it, that's stress upon you that's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? But we're allowing this because you guys are allowing these officials to govern you and do what they're doing. And
But look,
that's
but look too. What we've done, I think, a bad part. I don't know who's in control of this. No, I think the gut period. It's the greed has gotten so out of control that, like you say, we outsource and do so many other. Like you said earlier, we don't have to look to other places. We have so much here. But the problem is the greed has gotten so crazy to where we outsource and do so many other things outside of us, to where now we are depending on other people because we gave everything away trying to outsource for the
right,
money. And so now
right,
when we're, you know what I mean? Even when
right,
that goes back to jobs and stuff here in the country, factories and all these things that were shut down, that
right,
that
right.
generations before us, that's how families were raised.
Oh,
Houses were
yeah,
bought
that were raised this
because we
country.
had the oil refinery, the dealer, the car you know what I mean? So many different things, the Firestone that helped
Right.
communities. Now we don't have them
Shut it
anymore
all
because we
down. We shut it
outsource
all
so
down
much.
by the people that we put in place in politics. You're right. You said it perfectly.
Man.
I mean, there's no
Right, we
rate to
outsource,
destroy.
we effed it up, homie.
Right, right. And it's because sometimes you got these officials and some of them have agenda. It's not really what they really, some say, not everybody's for the same game.
Right,
There's a lot of people, I hate to say, we're selfish.
right.
They like that
And that
empowerment.
greed, homie.
They love
Greed
greed.
has really messed up because America's built on greed and money, right? But
Yeah.
we have gotten so greedy to where you have billionaires that are how much billions does this dude have? So we talked about this before. I think if there's so many billions in the world, we shouldn't have the issues we have. And again, I know you can't save everyone. I know that. But I'm speaking in general, bro. You know? That's
It shouldn't
another
be.
topic.
No, there's enough money and resources for everybody in this world. But
Yes, man.
the only reason it's not like that in this is just my opinion, is because you got a group of party, and not even a party. We're not even talking about governing officials. This is what Pops just said like 5 minutes ago. People have the wrong narrative, man. Not everybody's down with the agenda. Not everybody's down with the game because somebody's mad because this guy's black. Somebody's
Right.
mad because this guy's white.
Right.
Somebody's mad
Or this
because
guy's gay, or
somebody's
this
mad
guy's
because
whatever.
he's from China. Somebody's
Yeah.
mad because he's from Russia. Somebody's mad because he's an American. Somebody's mad because he's from the barrio. He's from a different gang across the street.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all these little small things is preventing us from moving forward and from stopping the world to be rich in the way God wanted it, to be honest with you, man. This world's supposed to be about Adam and Eve, and we're supposed to be a giving people to everybody. That's politics. They try to underscore it. You know what I mean? Oh, we work together. We're gonna make this bill. We're gonna make that bill. But if they could get it together, try to work it together, us as a community these days, this is how we got to work and make an impact and keep voting, keep doing your American privilege, man, your God-given American privilege, and make a difference. You know what I mean? And that's where it goes at. You know, that's where it's at for me. And it all starts on days like this when it comes to voting days, man.
He said YouTube is worth 190 billion. Whew.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it.
Funny about that, I wonder who they're endorsing. You know, this is another thing about politics and government. You got these big old rich, you know what I mean, businesses, YouTube, right? What's that one everybody's on right now except me? I never had one. I had a MySpace, but I didn't have Facebook.
MySpace. Shout out to MySpace. That was crazy.
Dictating, right?
Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. I don't really
all
deal with
these
Facebook.
you know what I mean? You got natural gases and so forth. All these companies dropping big, heavy money and endorsing heavy people, you know what I mean? Because of what? Because it benefits them. And we wonder why the rich get rich and the poor gets poor. You know, they try to take away the middle class. Because why?
Yeah, they are taking away the middle class. Is there a middle class left?
There isn't.
It's just rich and poor, bro. Because middle class is already just above, almost not poor, but making it. You know, but it was that medium. Now it's not.
Right. And that was the whole beauty of America installing and bringing that entrepreneurship, you know, coming down, you know what I mean? Bringing what God's given you, you know what I mean? The ability to create, you know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about. Entrepreneurship is about creating things, you know what I mean? You have the ability, the idea, and you come out here and you're magically delicious. You know what I'm saying? Just like Lucky Charms, you know how to say if you're a musician.
Lucky Charms are my shit, man. Lucky Charms.
Talk about it, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make a government. You know, we're gonna do politics right now. He like Lucky Charms. I like Cocoa Puffs, baby.
Oh, Cocoa Puffs are cool. I was more of a Fruity Pebbles, but Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, Cocoa Puffs, man. Where I got chocolate milk at the same time.
Oh my God.
But that's what I'm saying, man. That's the government is. We can have fun with
Bob Maury, what up?
Yeah, you know, we can have fun with it, man. We really, really could do it. And we are the epic and we are the exampleship of the world because, you know, we teach people how to govern and have a democratic, you know, party, a community where you have two oppositions. And we've been doing that. It was given to us by our European forefathers. I hate to say it. And then it was conducted and established right here. That's why the church was built and so forth. That's why all these taxes, you know, you have all these taxes, you know, tax that. You know what I mean? Come on, cigarettes is tax, alcohol's tax, you know what I mean? Gambling is tax.
I don't know how you smoke, boy, my brother I don't know how they smoke cigarettes no more. They like $10.
Yeah, but see the thing, yeah, I remember when they were back, they were like $2.50.
Like $2.50, homie. And we considered them high when they went to $5. It was like, oh my God. Hey. I was a smoker too, I ain't gonna lie. But I'm so glad I could not do it, homie.
You know, that's
it no more. My brother smokes. I'd be like, bro, man.
And that's what I'm saying. It's crazy, man. You know, everything goes up, and that's where we are right now. You know what I mean? It's hitting our pockets. It's hitting your habit. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then you have other, how would I say, businesses are coming out that are running gold. Marijuana right now, businesses making.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Right now,
who would have thought, man? Like,
man,
getting busted for weed now. That's
a money maker.
That's the future, though. It's going to be more and more people that invest. And you're going to see weeds. Sorry to say, but soon you're going to see weed in the store like cigarettes. That's where they're going with it.
Yeah, if you're going to allow
alcohol, be just like how Newports and Marlboros, you're going to have your weed you can buy.
Yeah. Okay, but it's going to come to this. It's going to come to this, and this was funny.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
To all you weed smokers out there, you're gonna have to go vote for it to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
you know, just like how they did it over here when 8 years ago, how they made it.
Some people don't want that though. Everyone don't want weed to be. Some people still want to, be able to do their thing. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everything has to be respectful. You can't get mad if there's another party that's against what you believe in.
Right.
I'm gonna say something, okay? And this is for YouTube. I'm not discriminating or anything. We're gonna talk about it. but I'm gonna do it in my proper way and no disrespect. Abortion, right?
Mm,
That's been up there, right? It's been a heavy
mm,
topic right
that's
now.
touchy. That's touchy.
It's a
That's
bit,
touchy.
but
Joker,
I-
what up?
I'll say for this, I don't believe in abortion, but I have a reason for it, and it's a good one. I think so. Maybe if you agree, hear me out. I think
Let's
that
talk about it.
there's a lot of women that can't have babies. They can't. You know what I mean? Medically, you know what I mean? Women,
No. Hold on, Big D. How do
yeah.
you feel now that we're speaking on abortion or women who can't have baby?
I
How
want
do
to
you
tell you
feel
right
about
now. I'll
this
tell you,
new thing, which seems
right,
to be the future, where everyone is doing the
right.
surrogate thing and
Right,
all that?
because
What do you think about that?
now it involves our bodies. I mean, what's after that? And what I'm saying about going back to what I was saying, abortion. I'm against this because I think I have a proposition. For those women who think that maybe that I believe that the women that's their body, but if somehow, some
Right.
way, because what I mean, sexually we're accountable because most of the time I understand there's a thing called rape and so forth, and and it does happen.
Yeah.
But most of us, when we get in a relationship, we know what we're doing, whether it's a one night stand or I'm marrying this guy for the rest of my life, right? And I
Right.
think sometimes I get it. Sometimes accidents do happen, and with that time, instead of harming the building because it's still murder, how they do it, they come out and they kill the baby, the fetus, and so forth. So instead of doing that, let the baby, come out and give it to a family that's trying to have that can't have kids but is willing to adopt and raise children and get that experience. So to me,
Right.
it works hand in hand. Women. I know maybe the women don't want to go through the whole 9 months or for whatever reason because it does bodily damage. You know what I mean? Some good, some bad. But I think that there could be a different narrative where instead of killing the baby, let's give it a chance and give it to a family that can't have children, that want children, and give them. And everybody's a winner. So, these people can't have it. This woman can. It's like that's how you say the surrogates, right? Look at that. They
Yeah,
want to
talk about that surrogate thing. What do you think about that?
they sell their eggs. It's a business. You know,
Yeah, but so do you think that's good though? About I'm kind of like with this surrogate thing. I don't know.
it's
What
kind
you
of
think?
it's kind of the same thing like abortion.
Like you said, it's turned into a business though, bro. And like now,
But you know what I mean? People are willing to pay because it's the opportunity of life. You know what I mean? I rather pay for life than to take it
so
away. And
you would
that's
be for that.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
I believe
You
for
would be for a surrogate over adoption first?
yeah, if me and my wife couldn't have kids, and I would adopt first. That's what I'm saying. You know what I
Okay.
mean? There's different ways. Instead of being women, this is what I'm saying. Instead of women, having the abortions, rather try to give somebody whether you profit from it or you want to give it to a family that wants to adopt and take it for the whole 9 yards and go through that whole experience and let
Right.
them work it on, let them transition. If we're allowing, all communities, to allow like, hey, they have the right to adopt this, they have to adopt it. If we think that that's okay for doing that, then we should give life a chance. That's all I'm saying. For the women now I understand now if it comes to a medical situation where it's life or death between the mom and the baby, then yeah, of course, man. Hey,
She
what I
said
mean?
surrogates are having babies for gay couples now, and I think that's gonna be. But look, see, that's where I was going with that because
Right.
it's a
Okay.
business. So I think with the future, it's gonna be more of that because at first, what were they doing? Adopting more.
Because
Now they can do the surrogate thing.
right.
You know,
Right, and that's what I'm saying. YouTube, what I mean, we're just exploring our thoughts. Okay, we're not saying it's right or wrong. YouTube, this is just our opinion. Opinions vary.
so do you think life is up for business? Like, is this a business deals now?
Well, what I mean, it shouldn't be. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of discrepancies on today how we live life, man. You know what I mean? And that's where people. But there's a big, like I say, there's a hateful. There's a people not hateful. There's a choice where what I mean. You have a group that says, "Hey, this is right," and then you have people say this is wrong. And that's why
Right.
it's coming down to the superior courts, right? That's why you have people with abortions. They're at the superior courts fighting for their freedoms. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they have the right to do that. That's why, as American citizens, they have every single right to do that. Now it's up to the courts and it's up to your politicians and your local government to make those things. And that's where we're at right now, right? You know what I mean? If you come to California, they still allow women's rights, you know what I mean, to have abortions. If you go to other states, they don't. That's the difference between the governing. It's not
Right.
always going to be right and wrong. It's not always going to be your way. You know what I mean? Because these are officials. They're not only just dealing with one lady that's having abortion. They're dealing with many of ladies that have that same idea in the narrative, and then you're dealing with another group of people that are opposed to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who's right and who's wrong? That's what's governing. That's what it's all about. You know,
Right.
women have a right, you know what I mean, to feel what they want to do to their body. Yes, until I feel, this is just my opinion, until they can conceive it and there's a heartbeat or there's a life inside, their womb. Because now it's not about them; it's about the both lives. It's them and the other person that's inside. Because the reality of it is, women are here to have children and they conceive it. Men can't. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Adopted people can't, whether you come from a gay, single, whatever. We don't. If you don't have the resources to do that, you can't do that, because you need a man and a woman, a sperm and an embryo to make that happen. And a lot of people are arguing over and over for the same thing. If they only follow the truth, you know what I'm saying? The truth is, it's up. You know what I mean? That's where we're at. Women have the right. You know what I mean? That's why. Hey, it's their opinion. But my opinion.
How do you feel about this is I don't know how I word this right.
The courts
like gay, yeah. Oh yeah, they don't have that pro life. That's
right, and I'm pro life.
That's a fact. But what do you think about like she's talked about gay couples now doing surrogates. What do you think about gay couples, period, raising kids, whether adopted or surrogate? What do you think about that?
The LGBT community, they have a right to be who they are and represent. But what they don't have a right to is exploit and make everybody think what they're doing is correct. That's not America. You know what I'm saying?
And the fact that, let me say this too. I gotta check how I word stuff right here. I don't want to get shut down. But it's kind of like, to me too, when gay people don't come from me. I'm just trying to word this right, but speak facts. When you raise kids, obviously sometimes a kid will be confused, because now we both know that you can't make a kid together, but you have a kid. So now how does the kid process that?
Right. But we can't all say that inside a LGBT community household, whether it's you have two gay fathers or two gay mothers, that it's going to be that way either. How do you know if they're not properly treating them the right education the right way too?
But that's the thing. Most times they do. Let's just keep. Let me say this about the LGBT.
This is what I'm
they
saying.
are some of the most well kept and financially, like, they're good on all that. You know what I mean? And they're good people.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm just stating the facts.
Right. Oh yeah, that's the truth. To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. So we can't, you know what I mean, judge right away and say, well, you know what I mean, there's gonna be some kids, that are gonna come out and have that right to say, hey, to make that proper decision. And then you're gonna have that party group that are gonna be like, hey, this is the way the narrative is. But you're only confusing if you're gonna run that route. You're only gonna run that era into life and run them into a non-existing, coexisting life. Because when they go to school, when they get a job, when they do everything else, they're gonna say like, hey, well, why are these two couples, a man and woman, together? So you have to
when they go to their friends. Way.
Yeah, why?
Or they have to, I think, properly educate if they're gonna do this right. Educate the kids you're raising, like let them know everything. Don't just because like you said, that's gonna come up. Right. I'm sure they're doing. Like I said, I'm not taking away, because some of the LGBT or gay couple, whatever, they are some of the most educated, take for finance, all of that. So I'm sure most of them have good households and are raising good kids. But we just still have to. You have to let them, just educate them properly.
Educate them
so they don't be confused.
And also,
what up, Jen?
What up? And also respect our boundaries and what we believe.
Right, like you said, don't push. That's my only problem with the quote unquote where it's come to. I have to give them props for getting to where they have been. They have really more rights than other people that barely got rights. Right, they have the most rights and the most
that's the importance of voting.
Most protection.
Right.
That's for voting. But don't push, like you said, don't. That's my only problem. Sometimes they push it so hard to whereas if we don't agree, we're wrong now, or we're hating or bashing. No.
Right. But see, that's another involving a lot of communities that are taking place and that are uprising right now. Well, for instance, we'll talk about the Black Lives Matter community, right?
Right.
I understand they took out they saw something.
We ain't even gonna talk about that, man.
Hey, they're involved, bro. They're a community. They vote.
No, but it's two different. It's a Black Lives Matter and it's a Black Lives Matter. What do they call that? Who who did all the BS, you know what I mean, and scammed. That's two different things. Sometimes they get confused because people do believe in black, but you know what I mean. I don't. That's a whole nother issue too.
But politics, man.
That's a
But
whole other. That's a
I
whole
could say
other
this. I
thing
could
right
say
there.
this. They had a right. I could say this. You know, this is just again, people, to my beautiful black community. You know, I think the Black Lives Matter had, you know what I mean, a narrative going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did initially, but
Because
when
they,
it got into the politics of it,
but
and
don't take this away though.
that's
Do
when
not
they got
take this
messed up.
away. Do not take this away. You guys were not the first because Martin Luther King was also a Black Lives Matter man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The first man who was able to
First
vote.
and foremost.
What's his name? The first black voter was a Black Lives Matter man. You know what I'm saying?
What Martin Luther King pushed, like you said, it really can say the first Black Lives
All
Matter. But
communities,
when he said all lives,
all
that
lives
was the originator of all lives matter because he was the first one pushing that. Yes, I'm
So that's
representing for the black folks and I'm a black man, but I want all people. That was his main message. That we could
and
all be together one day, walked hand in hand. And you know
right,
what I mean? Like how we are right now.
right. And
That was his dream.
and that's what it is. It's the dream, and the dream is here, people. And you can't twist something. You can't go 5 steps forward and take 10 steps backwards. It just doesn't work like that. But in today's society, if you're not getting what you want, you know what I mean, and you could suppress the opposition, and you could change things in history. That's what they're trying to do in some sense. Some people in this country, and we have the wrong narrative, and they're trying to vote out, you know, in the old and bring in their new. When you're established in something, guess what else is going to change later on that has to revolve you. They're going to change your voting rights. They're going to change the way you're living. And guess who's after all this stuff is done, if all the way to the end, guess who's going to be still in control in the end? The government.
Oh
The
yeah.
government's going to
They run it all. They
the
run
government's
the
going
show.
to be in place.
They
And if
run, that's the mob, homie. The government is the real mob.
the real mob, the
The
lynch
real
mob, you know
mob.
what I'm saying? And
Nah,
that's
for
what I'm
real,
trying
homie.
to tell
That's
you,
the real mob.
right? And if you guys, if we can get along and do it our American citizen honorable, you know what I mean, choice voting way, guess what? They will be there to control you, to govern you, to manage you, to dictate you. I mean, America hasn't been like that, man. I don't know anything like that. I can't see myself living in Iran, being governed by the,
Yeah,
you know.
that's why I say sometimes, bro, like this, man. We got a lot to say about this country, homie. But I will have to say, I really wouldn't want to live
I
over
love
there,
this
bro.
country, my boy.
Hey, I would not want to live anywhere else, brother.
I
I'm
love
just keeping it
America,
real,
man.
man.
I
I'm just
love
keeping
that
it real, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna, you know, yeah, we got issues and all that, bro. But sometimes we get beside ourselves and you know, like I said, all you gotta do is go turn on National Geographic, bro, or look up one of these YouTube channels, homie. You will get to you
or
will
look,
you will really be humbled.
look
You
at a
will
YouTube
really be humbled
yeah,
real fast,
look at a
real
YouTube channel
fast.
and show you how children are living in other countries, man. You know
You
what I'm
will be
saying?
humbled real fast. Please
Humble.
believe me.
Take a visit, you know what I mean, to your local ghetto and see what's really going on. Take a visit.
Even when we look now at our ghettos, even though it's bad and you know all that, bro.
Go to
Nah,
another
homie.
ghetto in
That is
another
nah,
country,
homie.
man. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, no,
You
no.
know what I'm saying? And that's what that's what I'm trying to say, man. You know what I mean? Voting is a privilege, man. Voting is our choice of life because we're true Americans. And no, we are the representation of freedom, you know what I mean, choices, and even sometimes making mistakes, man. Nothing is done perfectly. Like I said, family, we could go on, and there's a lot we could talk about. But from here, you know what I mean, it's your job. I want to encourage you later on in life, you know, in 2 years, after we see what happens, whoever's in your local community representing your local government, you know, keep an eye on them. Pay attention to politics, man. You educate yourself, man. I tell all you guys, man, it's only a semester. What's 6 weeks of your life? You know what I mean? One day of class. And then maybe you learn something. You might not hate it because you might not hate it because you could find yourself get involved in it. You know what I mean? You'd be like, you know, don't hate something that you don't know because you might end up being involved in it. You know, straight up. And that's what, you know, and how we get involved in it right now, we participate. Right now, it's our choice. And today, I'm a proud brown man. I voted today, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah,
against
yeah.
everything I'm against
Yeah.
everything I'm against everything that's taking place, people. You know, I don't like the gas prices up. I don't like to see, our borders that's happening. I don't like to see, inflation in our foods hitting our pockets. I don't like to see that right now. And no disrespect to any other party that's out there, whether you're Democratic, whether you're Republican, whether you're independent. You know what I mean? As YouTube, I like to say, we're coming out here. It's a freedom of speech, freedom of choice. And it's also, we got to take advantage of our privilege and educate yourself. Know what you're voting for. Don't be scrambled and it's like a chicken.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. No, that's another thing too. Look, sometimes we go like today was a midterm, whatever, governor, senator, right? Even when you go for the big show, the presidency, right? Sometimes we have to educate because look, I'm gonna tell you this. Once we get past, say if you go vote for the president, once you get past the president, vice president, you don't know who those other people are. It's like several other ballots. You don't know who they are. Like today too, when you get past the senator, the governor, whatever else,
City
it's
council.
more. Then it's like all these other people you don't even know. Now you just push yes for Democrat or Republican because you don't know. So we have to educate ourselves too
Right.
on who these
And
other
how
people
many,
are.
how
We
many
really
times
do.
do
Because
you
some of
see
these
that?
people are just getting free seats and free
Yeah.
passes just because people didn't know who they were and they just voted Democrat or
Exactly.
Republican.
That's
They're
a good
getting a free ride, and they may be the main one that's jerking you, homie. You just don't even know because you don't know who they are.
I'm glad you said that, man, and that's what I'm saying. It's an important to know who you're representing and setting into the big house. In politics, they do it causes headaches. Yes, it does. But you know what? It's going to cause more headaches when it hits your pockets. You know what I'm saying? When it has to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Voting is essential. Have your say 100. If you don't vote, you have no right to moan the
That's what
outcome.
we just said earlier, bro.
And,
Good
this is
comment. We
Bob
just
from
talked
New
about
Zealand.
that.
What up, Bob? This is Bob from New Zealand.
What
You know what
up,
I'm saying?
Bob? What up, homie? The land down under.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's the
Much
homie
love.
right there, And if he's saying it from sea to shiny sea, you know what I'm saying? These are people in different lands, different countries, in dry land. You know what I'm saying? We are the representation, people. I hate. I'm gonna be honest with you. Of freedom, of choices, and doing the right thing, helping the world. You know what I mean? We are the world's. Everybody looks at us and reflects on us. And then when we start acting like, we can't, like I said, get along with amongst each other because of color, gender, who's rich, who's poor, we're fighting, it goes all the way from me growing up. You know what I mean? Me growing up in gangs, me growing up in this, I wasn't participating. I was doing other stupid things that didn't really resolve what's taking place in the community. I was pretty much the opposition. I think Pops was too.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
not
I
we're
didn't
not making
ever
an
think
impact.
about voting. I didn't start voting, bro, until I don't even want to say. But look, another thing I appreciate what this country does, bro, is seriously, bro. Sadio. Hey, check. Another thing I appreciate
Oh my
what this
God.
country does, how we move it around. Like we don't keep, 4 years, 2 years, even for the Senate and
Right.
2 years. You have to come back around and vote again, or you get out of there, or you only have 2 terms, you're out of there because that keeps things recycling and keeps it from being a dictatorship like some countries do, bro. You
Right.
know what I mean? Where they can really control stuff, homie. So,
Right.
that's why again voting is important because they're giving you a choice and a right. They could just dictator this stuff, homie, and
Yeah, they
we
sure can.
keep one person in and they run everything. We'll be boy.
They
You don't
really
want
sure.
that.
And I think they would get rid of a lot of things right now.
Yes, they would.
And I'm not scared to say it right now because I think it's right. I think they get rid of the LGBT community.
Yeah, they would.
I think they get rid of religion.
Anything they want to
I
get,
think,
they don't agree with, they'll get rid
yeah,
of.
I think they'll get rid of, arms, they'll get rid of everything that, they don't get. They'll take away our weapons away. Let me tell you, man, if you don't vote, you know what I mean? They'll take, if you give them this
That
country the
part,
opportunity and the way
yeah.
things are happening, they'll take away your rights. And I know how that feels because, when
That's
I got
because our rights were taken away. It was a time I could not
busted,
vote.
I
Me
got
personally.
hey, I got busted, right? I picked up a charge, a F,
Yeah.
and now
F on your report card and you can't vote.
I could vote, but I can't bear arms. I don't have
Oh,
that
yeah,
choice.
bear arms. Yeah.
Because you
Yeah,
want
to
to know
this
why?
day. No, you're right. Because
Want
to
to know
this
why?
day,
Because you know what I mean. They're gonna do a background check on me.
I'm gonna still bear them. I'm gonna still bear arms.
Right.
Same way, bro. We can't bear arms. We can vote now. Can't
We can
bear
vote.
arms. But
Right.
what do you expect us to do, bro?
Well, if it's what they expect us to do is to do the damn right thing. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't knowing,
Protect yourself at all times.
if you ain't knowing, then you better go tell somebody. So I will go tell the next person, hey, big dog, before you get a felony charge, homie, you better make sure you want to do that, because if you get busted, you're gonna lose your right to bear arms. That's one of them. And come on, man. Right now, I wish I could have, you know what I mean? I really, really wish I could have that, you know, but I have to go through this whole big cycle, you know what I mean, in order to obtain, you know, I got to squash my record and do all this. And, you know, that costs some serious money. If you're doing something bad.
I think that law, that's a law we need to fight against. That needs to be done away with. So I think, I don't think it needs to, I think as soon as someone is clear of their duty of whatever they have to do, whether they get out and they're on parole, they complete parole or they complete probation, whatever they do, once that is done, everything needs to be lifted. Why do I have to still sit and have that on me?
And it
I
does.
can't bear arms because I have a felony. That's just something to hold over my head. Because
You know
guess
what they
what? Some of the people that have not been convicted of felonies are more dangerous than the ones that aren't. And that's been proven because all these shootings and mass shootings, those are people that have never been convicted of a felony. They can go right in the gun store and buy all these guns and go shoot up everything. So reevaluate this.
It wasn't no homie from Compton, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it wasn't, homie. It never is. It ain't homie from East LA, Boyle Heights. It's some homies from where we never heard of.
Right. But see, we make those mistakes the big way, and they can't find those small mistakes within individuals. Because why? Because they hide within their rights. You know, if they're not breaking the law, you can't see who's who. You know, but if you have a record, if they could record, you have a record, and they'll judge you for it, and that's what we're at. But that's on everything you do in life, people. You know what I'm saying? That's history right there, man. Those are your rights. You're either going to win them, or you're going to lose them, or you're going to gain them. That's what it is. And then let me tell you a little story, man. All right, story time, people. Story time.
Let's go. Talk about it. Let's talk about. Hold up. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, hit it.
I didn't have it ready, but okay. Hold on. All right.
Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it.
Let's go.
I want to give a big shout out. Check this out, man. This is a true story because my wife will testify.
What up, Monica?
My cousin married an immigrant. Okay. And he made a lot of mistakes, and he had a lot of oppositions and a lot of things. So he wanted to become a citizen. So, to make a long story short, guess what? This guy found a lawyer, worked his butt off, did everything he had to do to save his money and to do the right thing. Instead of going through the back door, he went through the front door, because you know it means a lot to be a citizen. Especially if you're born in Mexico or South America or anywhere else. You know, immigrants don't just come from Mexico, people.
Right.
They come from China, South America, South Africa. They come from everywhere, okay? It's not just Mexicans.
I feel you, Joker.
Right? Ahead, okay. Bro. So the whole moral of the story is he found a lawyer, saved up almost 10 grand. You know what I mean? He was able to get his citizenship, fought hard, ex-gang member, everything. This guy has more privileges than I do, and I was born here. Okay, he got himself a passport, he got him citizenship. Now he's buying firearms, doing everything he has to do, worked his butt off. And this is where I get mad at people who are, if you're not, it's not only Mexicans, like I said, there's other people here that are foreign. If you're here and you're comfortably, you know what I mean, shame on you. Because, you know, I know they make it hard. I do. I know they make it hard to save money and work and do to get your citizenship. I know it is. But I seen this guy do it in 3 years, and there's no excuses for anything, man. And that's how I know.
But the Big D, I'm glad you spoke on that, because now that you say that, a lot of people get mad and talk all day about immigrants and what they're doing and this and that. But the bottom line is, do we get too comfortable being here sometimes, like people that are probably not immigrant or just been here, opposed to, you know, so comfortable that we don't, you know, take advantage of the things we need to do. And then someone who's considered an immigrant will come in and do all those things could have did. And we've been here all our life, and they do it in 3 years because
say it.
What? Because they appreciate, they come over here and they're coming to attain what we call here. What is it? The life. What is it we call in America? The better life, whatever. They're coming to get that. We're here already, and we just become comfortable and complacent. Spoiled.
I'll tell you what my Chicano study teacher said. We're born here, brother. You know what I'm saying? And he even said this. He even said it like this: Black and brown community. You know, we have the right to sleep all day. Mama takes care of us. Or, you know, you want to be homeless. You want to be a drug addict. You want to be a gang member. You want to. We have that right. You know what I mean? But don't knock the next man down when he's coming over here hustling. He's trying to change and doing better than you. And you're mad at him because he has his business, he has a car. He came from Israel. He came from the Palestinians. He came from Africa. He came from Egypt. And you're mad at him because he busted his ass, went to school. And you were born here. And so you got to go to school. You got to have free education. You got to have this. People are striving and hurting. They come over, even Asian people, Chinese people come over here and they use our system. They use our schooling. We have the best schoolings in the world, people. You know what I'm saying? You want to be an engineer. We could, in America, you could be anything. You could be a singer, entrepreneur, you could do all that.
And sometimes, you know what I heard?
Take advantage of our system.
They get it. And you know what I heard someone say last night? They were speaking, I forgot what I was watching, but they were talking about like Asians. And you know us, we come up around Asians and all that. And we always thought, which they are, they're smart, but you almost think they're smarter than you. Like they have some secret. That's not what it is. Their parents, their people they are brought up and taught.
They're determined
to study, determined, and they just go harder, bro. That's how they're raised.
That's how they're raised.
They're smarter. They're just raised that way. Just like you, when you raise something to be what they are, that's what they're gonna be. People raise pit bulls to be fighters. They're gonna be a fighter. If you raise someone to be what they are, that's what they're gonna be.
Right. You want to be a Jedi. You're gonna raise it up. You're gonna be a Jedi. You know what I'm saying? You know, but the truth is the truth, man. I seen a community, right? I had a friend in Monterey Park, you know what I mean? I was like 8, 9 years old, and I would go in there and I see a bunch of Asians in this one nice big house.
Monterey Park.
They got like 15 Asians in there. Yeah. But let me tell you, when all the young ones are going to school, all the mid ones are running a business, and all the elders are sitting back and getting the recipients of it. And next thing you know what I mean? They're going to college and they get degrees and they're doctors and they're nurses and they're lawyers and all that stuff, and you're mad at them because they're putting in work. But the average American just waking up at 11 o'clock. I'm going to buy me a beer. I'm going to go smoke me a joint. You know, I'm going to go play some ball and go with my lady. You know, I'm going to hit my regular 9 to 5. I work hard at the factory, man. They pay me $20. But you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? I'm going to go, why? Why go that hard way narrative, man? You know, but you're mad. Like I just said, you see this young guy, he went to school, suffered. He did everything he can to make his life better in this world where you have every opportunity in this country. And now 15 years later,
we got to make that cool. We got to turn that around, especially in the inner cities. We got to make it to where it's somehow cool to go to school and, you know, do good in school. You know, we were brought up a lot of times like that wasn't the cool thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. But we see now the ones who, weren't quote unquote cool. They're the ones that's making the big bank, homie. They are cool now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we got to catch up, man, and play catch up because we're so behind. You feel me?
People perish because of lack of knowledge. That's Bible, bro. You're not educating yourself, man. You're not telling yourself, man. My Chicano teachers told me, man, the way he said it, he opened my eyes, and I was just like, wow. I told him, you know what, sir? I'm 20 years late, bro. And you know what he told me? He know what he told me? He was like, you're never too late. He goes, I want you to look around the classroom. This is my second Chicano study teacher. And yes, there was a lot of young students, but you know what tripped me out? There's elderly people there. There's people our age that are there too. Yeah, we're not the majority. Out of 30 children, there's like 10 of us. The other 20 are young, but there's still people that are willing to learn every single day. There's nothing wrong with learning, people. And we have it's our right, man. And, you know, educate yourself on what it is that you need to be doing to benefit yourself, and not only benefit yourself, benefit the next person, the next community, the next city. And that's how you become an elective, you know?
You see what Brenda said? My uncle, my Theo came here illegally from Mexico and now is a top brain surgeon.
Right, there it is. People do that, you know? While I used to get up, tweak all night, or get up 11 o'clock in the afternoon, you know what I mean? Smoke a bowl, drink a beer, and not to do a damn thing. And walk around my 210 for like 10 years while the guy I'm over there hating on went to school, did this, did that, and now he's over there driving a Mercedes and stuff like that. And I'm over here pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, I get it. You know, we're not educating ourselves, people, you know, and then it has to do with everything that we have forth in this country. Know your rights. No, you know, they have free schooling right now. You know what I'm saying? That's on
That's
that.
why I
That's
think I do think now is the best time ever for kids to come up, man. Like they have no excuses to you know what I mean? I just wish I could have a do-over, but they have no excuses now, man. Like everything is there for them. If they just put forth an effort, for someone is there, like it's something there for you, man. Like they have it set up that way now. So there's no excuses for these kids, man. We just have to push them in the right direction, but there's really no excuses, man. Everything is there, bro. You know what I mean? Free education,
I'm
trade
gonna,
school.
hey, I'm
It's
gonna
there
talk
for them
about
now.
it, man. Hey, I'm gonna say this, people. I heard this the other day. A couple people have been telling me something. It's funny. I was in Paul Times thing. Okay, I'm gonna come out and say it. All right, you guys heard it first. You know, excuses are for assholes. Oh wow, big D cuss. Oh wow, okay. You know what I'm saying?
You just speaking
You
facts, bro.
know, hey,
Speak on it.
excuses
Let's
are
talk
for
about
assholes, man. Everybody has one. You know what I'm
that
saying?
part, Brenda.
That's just some straight up stuff, man. I grew up with excuses, people, trust me. And now look at me today, you know, I'm not the richest man, I'm not the educated person, but I know what a difference is. You know, I know what I teaching my daughter. And if she ain't learning from him, at least I tried. That's what the thing. Make an effort, make an attempt. You know what I mean? Make a try to try. It's always that try, because when you ain't doing nothing, you ain't doing nothing.
You ain't doing nothing. Then like you just like we said, when you don't vote, you can't complain. When you're not trying, you can't complain either, bro. You gotta at least try. You know what I
Try,
mean?
you
That's
know,
all you can do. And it's not you're gonna have obstacles. Every day's not gonna be good. You may have 7 straight days of failure, but guess what? That 8th day may show you something different. You have to keep
yeah,
trying because if you're not trying, you're dying, homie.
right. And then after I heard this too, man, I seen this on Instagram. Okay, so you know how you used to take your test. Many of us been to school. You know,
Like
we had the bubbles. You know, you fill it in
right,
with a number 2 pencil. Just make
right.
it fun one day, people, and just go in there and just start scribbling in.
I used to do that. I ain't even gonna lie. I used to do that. Man, I was terrible. I used to do
Just
that, bro. I
scribble
used to
anything, man. Hey,
yeah.
at least you try, like
Oh
pops.
my god, I was terrible with that, man. Jeez Louise.
Oh man,
Jeez Louise.
and that's what it is, man. Straight up, people, man. You know, like I said, man, it's our privilege, and as a citizen, we get to vote, man. I understand vote is hard, but I honestly feel honored. And like I said, I saw Pops today, and he sent me a video that he voted. It made me
Yes,
happy,
sir. I wish I had the picture. I was gonna post it. I
you know.
voted though, people. I'm happy. I'm proud. My mom's proud of me. You know what I mean? So, man,
You
and
know,
thank
and,
the
and we don't
ancestors,
always have to
everyone who
agree,
fought. Even though, like you said, sometimes we think it doesn't matter, whether it does or not. Do it out of respect, man. And you never know though, man. That one, just like when we play the lottery, we know it's 1 in 300 million that you're gonna win, but you still gonna go play, right? Because you know
right?
it's you think it's a chance, especially when it's at 2 billion.
Right?
So you
But,
know what
but
I mean?
yeah, yeah, two.
So the same way, homie, you may not make a difference, but you just never know. Your one vote
I like
may
how you
make a
said it.
difference.
It may not make a difference, but it matters. You may
That
have you may have bought that lottery ticket and you didn't win, but it mattered, because if you would have won, woo wee, you know what I mean, you would have been gone. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
you would have been
So,
whew.
so it does matter. You know, I just
Shout out to
understand.
someone in Altadena who won, man. But
Oh, yeah,
I'm really never one for that. I don't believe, you know what I mean. I'm just not for one for that. But when it
right,
gets up to these numbers, it has been like when it gets up to the billion and all, I gotta go play. You know what I
right,
mean? But I'm
and
not one for that, man. I'm not in the dream. I don't dream, homie. I make it happen, bro.
you gotta make it happen, man. You know what I mean? Dream on, dream on. But like I said, man, we had a lot of people, a lot of forefathers, a lot of people. Think of the people back in the days. People
Thank
have
you,
died for
Elliot.
this, man.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to color and ethnicity, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, how would you not know how far our forefathers have gone? Like Cesar Chavez, right? He marched, man. You know what I'm saying? He marched, man. You know what I mean? He was just in it for the farmers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You want to know why? Because farming contributes to a lot what's happening, and it contributes to this country.
Farming contributes to, I would say, a I don't want to say 50%, but
Right?
a real big
High
percentage.
number. It's a high number.
Yes.
And who was
Yes.
representing the people that were farmer immigrants and so forth? Look, it was Cesar Chavez. It took us
Chavez.
40 years later in order to get rights, a little bit of movement in that kind of, you know what I mean, field.
Yep.
But it started somewhere. Like I said, freedom started with Martin Luther
Agriculture,
King. You know what I mean? He was
unions.
opposing more freedom, more rights. Abraham Lincoln changed the narrative. You know, as a white man, why are we just allowing white men to vote? It should be a Native American. It should be black. It should be Mexican. That's what I'm saying. It does make a difference. To you, you might say like, oh, this don't mean nothing to me because it's not affecting me. Yeah, you now, because guess what? Because you have that right from your forefathers who were there in the front lines. that were there that were getting beaten and their businesses were getting burned and everything else, and you were not there. This, you know, that's what I'm saying. That's what's kind of wrong, you know. But you have your opinion and you have your choice on what you make, but it may not apply to you right now, but it might apply to the other people on the other side of the block. You just never know. But
And it just depends on what where you're at in life. You know, things
Right.
at one point don't matter. Like at one point, oh, this didn't matter to me either. Then at one point, I couldn't vote. I just didn't think I could. Then there was one point where I knew I couldn't vote and didn't think I ever could again. Then I had to learn my rights and know that, okay, I can vote now. So it's, a lot of times it's just like you said, knowledge, homie. But like I said in the post, knowledge isn't always free. You have to pay attention.
You have to pay attention. You have to. And like I said, I want to touch back a little bit what I was saying. I want to go back to the Revolution War. You know what I mean? A lot of it had to do about, you know, slavery. You know what I'm saying? It had a lot to do with that, you know?
Yeah,
they were opposing, you know what I mean, you know, what they were doing. And then you had another party that was out there say, hey, this is wrong. And after, you know, there was a war that was fought for it. There was a revolution in this country before, you know what I mean, over racism, you know, over ethnicity. And it's kind of like, you know, sometimes, you know what I mean, it could disturb some people and rub them in the wrong way because say I wasn't there at that time era. I wasn't there at that time, but you know what I mean, it affected me. You know what I mean? So you know, it better me to be a proven and allowed citizen to this country instead of me being, you know what I mean, like, oh wow, you know, you can't vote because you're brown. You know, I don't have to worry about that no more because, you know what I mean, we already been through that transition. It didn't, I could honestly say it didn't affect me now because I don't care because I didn't go through that, this and that, but other people have, you know. We have the trailblazers. We have people that have been there and done that. They opened the door. You know what I'm saying? You know, I could say that's how I feel that, you know, things, it's our privilege and our right. So, you know, those are the things that, you know, we got to look at. But again, I'm not mad or disturbed or won't lose no sleep on any of you who feel like, hey, a different way. You know, just make sure that when things happen, like I said, this guy went over here and a representative, I don't know for who state he was representing or what city, and say, well, this is part of, you know what I mean, what's going on. So, you know, just eat some, you know, if there's a little bit of suffering and so forth, man, just eat some Chef Warrior D. I think that's a slap in the face.
Big Bad 209, what up, my boy? Much love to the 209.
Mr.
Cali, man, much love.
But yeah, man, you know, just know your rights. And if you feel, hey, you don't want to participate, guess what? Like I told you from the beginning, man, you don't have to. But me this year,
everybody got choices.
Everybody got choices. But yeah, man, the power of voting, man. You know what I'm saying? Why vote? Because it makes a difference, in my opinion. And
that's real talk from Big D. You know what I mean?
What up, everybody?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, homie. That's what we do right here. Every Tuesday. What is this? Tuesday? Yeah, we used to be Mondays. My bad. Every Tuesday night or every other Tuesday, we will be here to state facts like the homie Big Bad 209. I'm saying.
Truth, baby.
Yeah.
Truth. We speak truth. Facts are cool.
The problem is they should be allowed 1 or 2 terms in the Senate. The problem is I think they only get 1 term, right? Like Senate is not even like presidency. They get 2 years. That's why they're back again right now.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, they only get 2 on the Senate, bro. President gets 4. But I spoke about that earlier. I told Big D that's what I do like about this country is that they only give you a certain amount of time. It's not like certain other countries, you know, where someone is just there. And it's like a dictatorship, you know, they're just there and you can't do anything about it. I like how we do that. But what I don't like, I think we need to change is with these what are these judges, these what do they call those judges? The big dog judges. Like Clarence Thomas and all these dudes, like Clarence Thomas is a black dude who don't represent us. But he's been in there since like the 80s and like this. They don't move.
I think he's been there. They allowed a black Supreme Court judge to go there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they haven't changed since. And this dude don't represent us, bro. Like, come on, man. I don't like that part. I don't like that.
One thing about politics and government and voting, I will say, man, you know, like we talked about a little bit, sometimes, you know what I mean, these people get selective and they get into a little bit of power. They get into a little power and they see a little bit of money. and they forget.
That's
Oh,
that's clearly what happened with the Supreme. Thank you, Queen. Supreme Court justices. They are there and they are sat there and they accumulate this power and they know they have the power and now they are just stubborn in their ways. We won't get rid of them until they die. Unfortunately, sorry to say, but it needs to be a change in those type of parts because they
yeah,
control a lot of stuff which we don't know about. They control a lot of stuff, bro. You know,
right,
and
right.
I don't like
And
that,
this
especially
is
that
going
Clarence
to
Thomas dude. I don't like him.
yeah, this is what going to Denver Dirt Bike Squad
Or
says, man. There's a lot of things that they need to work on. Affordable housing, you know what I'm
affordable
saying?
housing.
Homelessness,
Yes.
homelessness,
Homelessness and affordable housing should be top of the list.
you know, better
They
education.
both go hand in hand, though.
Yeah,
Affordable housing is
better education. You know,
yeah,
gentrification in the communities. You know, there's
yeah.
so much things that we could
Cut
talk
that
about.
gentrification out.
We're just
Let
a
people
little
have a say if they want gentrification, first of all. And if you don't feel the community is doing good enough financially or whatever that you feel you need to bring gentrification, bring more jobs there then.
right,
Make it a way for the people that can
right,
do better before you just enforce your own will and say we're gonna gentrify, which really means kick you out.
right, right. And it happens and it allows us because we're not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? We're responsible for our communities, people. We put these people into office. We pay them. You know what I'm
That
saying?
part.
They take our tax money. You know what I mean? How are you angry if they come in and allow and they take you and they kick you out of your house or your community and they take your goob and you know whether you're brown or black and you're saying why is this happening? You know, come on, you guys gotta see this again, man. Let me remind you guys, man. You know, you got share this tonight, man. You know, share what's going on right here in G-Lew, man. Check out the Big D
Yeah,
Keeping It Real show, man. We're doing
yeah,
positive things here. We're trying to show
yeah.
you guys we're not going against the grain. We're not discriminating.
We're not, and we're
You
not on here with the
is
bullshit.
allowing
Excuse
us.
my language.
Yeah, YouTube is allowing us and giving us this privilege right here, freedom of speech, freedom of
Thank
choice.
you,
People,
YouTube. Thank you, YouTube.
no, we're not discriminating any community, man. We love all communities, but we need to learn how to work together. I'm not mad at Western Queen because you know what did she say earlier?
That's
She
Queen
I don't
said she gonna vote, homie. I'm not
yeah,
voting. I'm not for it. And
Western
she's
Queen says
and
she
she
goes
ain't no and
I
she
see
ain't no pup, homie. She like a triple
hey,
OG. She just
I
she's
see
not
what she
here
said.
for it.
She goes, I don't agree with you guys are saying, but I'm down with you guys. That's all we say, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's all that matters. That's
And
all that
because
matters.
they're
Sis. I
saying
love
that,
you.
guess
I love
what?
you, Western Ave Queen.
Just for saying West Queen, we love you, man. You know what I'm saying? We
I
could
love you,
agree
good sis.
to disagree, you know, in a non-violent, uncharacteristic, undramatic way. You know what I'm saying? Why you gotta do that? You know, they like to see us fight. They like us to be against each other. They like us to see, you know, that we're angry, this and that, because it puts, you know, and drama sells, man, it puts more money in their pocket. You know what I'm saying?
That
So, you
part.
know, straight up.
She said this is where the change starts. Educating others on the platform. Keep at it. Thank you, Elliot. This is what we do, and this is what we commit to do. Like the Raiders, sorry, non-Raider fans, but we're committed to excellence. And like I said, like I'm just never gonna use this platform for drama BS. I'm definitely not gonna use my platform to talk about another man negatively, especially someone of like me or the
Right.
homie. So
Yeah, because
that's
if
what we're not
anything,
gonna do.
right, because if anybody was ever negative in anything, it was me. You know what I mean? If anybody was every lack of education, didn't want to do anything or make a difference, it was me. I didn't care. You know, I had the wrong agenda, man. I was gang banging, man. I didn't care about the the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. I was all about that gangster party, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, check it out, Joker. Same right here, bro. I got a few of them joints, bro. So, but after a certain, that's what I'm saying too. You have to educate and know the laws and the rights after a certain amount of years. I don't know your situation and when you got your thing, but I mean, I'm a little more old school. I've been doing this for years, so I'm past the things, and now after a certain amount of years, you can get certain rights back.
Right.
So
You could. Like me,
just gotta check it
I
out.
gotta go smudge my record. But guess what? You know what that's
That's
gonna
what I want
cost
to do.
me?
I want to get my shit all the way because a
Yeah.
lot of
You could
those things still show up and affect things in my life, bro. Like I've been through so much because of certain things, bro,
it's
that
part
happened
of
years ago. I
yeah,
haven't been in nothing, but this was years and years ago when I was young,
right.
and they stay with you though.
Yeah,
I'm not
they
doing
sure
that
do.
anymore, but that F still stays on your report card.
That's right. That's right. But as a community, they'll let you fix it. As an American, it's part of the right. You know, you got to sponge your record, but you know what they for your mistakes. You know what they want?
That money.
It's gonna cost you something, man.
Oh, it's gonna
You know
cost.
what
I
I mean?
already
It's gonna
know.
cost you. That's what's gonna happen, people. If you're not voting, it's gonna cost you, man. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you be selective and elective, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it works, man. And like me and Pops were saying earlier, there's government in everything. I governor my house,
Yeah.
right? I I
You
I,
better.
I, I
You better.
governor the house, right? I'm the governor of this house. My wife
I'm the
is
king around here. I'm the king.
my
Pay
wife
cash
is
money. I'm
my
the
wife is
king.
a senator, and we
I'm the
govern
king around here.
we govern our daughter. You know what I'm saying? We govern her. We tell her the rules and regulations, and if she can't follow them, guess what? You know what I'm saying? Her ballot don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And then that iron fist comes out. You know what I'm
All right,
saying?
watch out now. Watch out. I can't, you know what I mean? I don't approve that message, Monica. He's on his own on that. No, I'm just playing.
You
Go
know what I
ahead.
mean? I believe in women's rights. I love you, baby. I
Mhm.
love you, man.
Don't
That's
forget
cool,
about
man.
Monica. She a OG dog. Her status is a little bigger than yours, Big D.
Yeah,
You
it
know what I
is.
mean?
But
I
it's so
know,
good.
I know you're Big Demon, quiet bit,
My
you
name
know.
is Demon from Quiet Village Pee Wee Locals, Westside Whittier.
You know what I mean? But Monica got a little bit more status on me. You know what I mean? I'm
Hey,
just saying. Go ahead.
no disrespect. No disrespect. I'm not lowballing nothing, but it's a woman status, bro. I'm a man.
Ooh.
Homie. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
That's a big
I'm the
difference.
king. I'm the king.
I'm a king around here. You know, her 10 years of prison ain't gonna match my 1 year freaking county jail, bro. You know what I'm saying? Big time. You know what I'm saying? You can fight fire, do all you want, but let me tell you something. I respect her. That's why she's a queen.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Guess what? And G-Lew's right. She shot me down many a times, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, but hey, sometimes you need to be governed that way, man. Hey, you know, I could accept it. You know, you just accept it, man. You know how they say, accept the vote. What up, Raymond?
Yo, what up, Rain? I never seen you in here before. He said, I grew up in the hood, but would stay away from the homies. Had a good government job after high school. Then I got in trouble. Well, it seemed
Yeah,
like you did go back around the homies then. I
yeah.
don't know. But I mean, when we're young, bro, these things happen. Like
Happen,
everything, even that we're talking about, me and Big D, is from experience. We're not young pups, bro. So
right?
everything we did, all that shit, all of that we did for years and years. I didn't really become a real man until my 30s. I would honestly say that.
Me too.
I mean, because I was still on other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Me
So
too.
it takes time, bro.
And it's never too late either. You know what I mean? Just like I said, we're still learning. There's a lot of things that we have to fix too. There's a lot of things that every day you're learning. If you ain't learning, then you ain't learning. You know, that's what they say. Every day you try to learn something, man. You try to educate yourself, man. And that's life, you know. That's the book of wisdom. That's knowledge, you know. That's why dab into anything. Read a book, man. You know, anything that's going to educate you and help you. You know, it's crazy how people, you know, they say, man, I don't know how to swim. Well, get in the damn pool and learn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. If you ain't taking the initiative
Right.
that's gonna maybe help you out one day, then you're losing. You
Yeah,
know, you
yeah.
might die. You might die because you never took the time to learn how to swim. You know what I'm
And
saying?
especially that's why I say again, especially in this day and time, there's no excuses really. Like everything is there for you. Even if you don't got all the money, you still got Google and YouTube where you can learn a lot of things just by paying attention for a couple hours. They have everything is there for you. I mean, at least to get started. You know what I mean? There's
You know what?
really no excuses. You just have to
Right,
have the incentive and the drive, and you got to want it. You got to want it more than they don't want you to have it.
right,
Because
right,
none of this shit is easy. I don't care, even if you do learn on YouTube, do it yourself,
right,
Google or go to class, even go to class, right? You
right. Hey,
still gotta want it. You still gotta want it.
you gotta. Hey, just like a job, you gotta show up, man.
That
You gotta.
part.
Today I had to show up. I had to show up and
That
mail
part.
my
You gotta
ballot.
show up every morning,
Show
even when
up.
you don't want to. And that's gonna weed out the people that want. I know people don't be sure. You know what I mean? Got excuses or woo, woo, woo. You don't want it, homie.
They,
You gotta
they, they,
want it. I know what I want, and I know what I like, and I know what I gotta do to get it. So I'm gonna
exactly.
make it happen.
You could tell this
Yeah,
guy's governing. He's a president of his house too, right?
real,
That's
bro.
what I should say. You're doing that. You got to think. But see, you get to do this in this beautiful country of America, man. Okay, I know, like I said, people, this country's been had it up and downs. It's just, I'm gonna be honest with you, and you know, it's time to, you know, what I mean, and it's not as bad as it seems to is. You know, what I mean, don't look at the social media too much, though. Don't
Right.
endeavor in too much because a lot of it's a lot of
Yeah,
BS too.
no, most of it is BS.
Most of it is
I
BS.
say that, man. Most of it.
Most
So
of it.
definitely don't believe in that. That's just for. I look at that as just for entertainment. I say about 80% of it, 85 is BS. You get 15 of good, and you have to weed out all the stuff to get to the good. So please don't believe in that. That's just entertainment.
Right.
Believe in yourself. Believe in God. You know what I'm saying, and make it happen.
And believe in your country. Because it's the best country in the world, man. Seriously. You know, like I said, I've been to several places, man. Europe, a little bit of Mexico down there. You know, hello, living in
America.
That
was bad. Living in America. Hey, that Russian was looking at him like,
America. I mean, I feel good. I remember that part.
I feel good. Shout out to James Brown.
Hey, great show, man, tonight, man. Appreciate you guys, man.
We did it, Big B.
Hey, you know,
a round of applause for that. We did this. We did that.
Man, appreciate you guys. You guys are feeling it, man. Hit that thumbs up, man. Hit that fist, man. You know, make sure you hit that like. If you guys felt it, man, make sure you guys share it. You know what I mean? Walking and talking, man. You know, rest in peace to what's his name again from Migos?
Oh, Takeoff.
Man, hey, rest in peace to Takeoff, man. Like I said, man, you know, don't talk about it, walk about it.
Don't talk about it, be about it. And each one teach one. And remember, 7 days without prayer makes 1 week. WEAK.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Pray for your country. Pray for your government officials. Pray for your city councilmen. You know, that's where prayer comes in. More prayer, more power. Just recognize that, man, straight up.
That part in that order.
Good show, y'all. Good show. Appreciate you out here.
Good show. Thank you, everyone who supported tonight, tuned in. If you missed it, you know, it's always next week, but you can go back and listen to the replay. Tell a hater to tell a player.
Yeah, so whether you see it tonight, see it next week, man. We welcome everybody, man, from everywhere across the world, living all over the world, man. It's your man, your Big D. This is the host right here. You know, you got G-Lew Smooth, man. What we doing now? What we doing now?
Yay. Let's talk about it, yo. Let's talk about it.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it.
Yay.
There you go, man. All right, man. Appreciate you guys, man. Love and respect. Didn't want to take too much of your time, but hey, I'm glad it did. You know, we some solid dudes over here. Let people know what we're doing, man. We care about you. You know what I mean? We try to teach. Guess what? When you guys are learning, we're learning at the same time. We don't know everything, man. And we appreciate all your comments and your interaction with us, you know, and just being a family, man. So just let everybody know, whether you're in New Zealand, shout out to Bob and New Zealand. You know what I'm saying? All you people from from West Coast, East Coast, from the north to the south, man, east, west, from the other countries, you know, from your other mother to the other mothers to the other fathers and all that stuff. We're all one. You know what I mean? We all one. You know what I'm saying? We all one. What you got going on, Pops, man? Oldies rule forever.
Oldies rule forever. Every Sunday on Mi Controla. Hey, check it out. Sunday night, Oldies rule forever, rated #1. We just keep getting better, man. Tune in, tell a friend. We just have good vibes. Everyone comes in there, man. We just listen to oldies, you know what I mean, and just interact with each other.
Like right now.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. Tune in Sundays, I'm telling you. If you don't do nothing else, tune in Sunday. Check out Saturday, DD Hairston Conversations in the Hookah Lounge. And Friday, we'll have a new interview.
Shout out to my girl, DD. Love you, sister.
DD. Shout out to DD, my producer. Love you, DD. Shout out to Monica. Shout out to Western Ave Queen. Shout out to everyone. They love Sunday nights with me.
You guys, man. All you subscribers, man. You know, you guys make it awesome. You guys make it happen. Big Bat 209, Elia, Western, Bob, Raymond. Thanks for Raymond stepping in by. Denver Dirt Bike Squad. All you guys matter, man. Whoever we miss, House of Tattoos, everybody else who comes. You know,
everyone.
Souls, you know, I mean, CY Entertainment.
Oh yeah, Two Souls.
You know,
check out her show. She featured me.
Don't forget my man Fernie with the. Don't forget my man Fernie with the sauce.
Fernie with the sauce.
And don't forget my man Joker, the Bears. You know what I mean? Aquatics is in the house, and all you beautiful people, Brenda Love, and everybody else who makes this thing happen, man. Appreciate you guys, man.
Yes, sir.
Boom.
Don't forget
about Hey Love.
Hey Love. Hey, see you guys Sunday. Peace. We are out. Yay.
Just kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Spark a ill, count some melon, just roll with me. Lou Lee, game spitter, you off top, I'm hot. I am legendary, homie, like the great Tupac. It won't stop when I'm giving y'all a game is real. Graduated from underground to a world I feel. What's the deal? You know I'm trying to make $1 million or so. I want it all for I'm gone, I know you're feeling me, yo. And to speed up my hustling in me, cause this game too slow. Niggas try to hold me back, so I went so low. Check the flow, how I do it, yo, it's so for real. Got all the major labels trying to give me a deal. So how you feel? I'ma chill, yo, I handle my own beats. Street teams and A&Rs, homie, you know me. Cuz so just show me the $100 bill.
Black cards, unlimited cash flow for real.
I want it all. Money, fast cars, diamond rings, gold chains, and champagne. This and every damn thing, I want it all. Houses, expenses, my own business, a truck, and a couple of Benzes. I want it all. Brand new socks and drawers, and I'm ballin' every time I stop and talk to y'all. I want it all.
Peace, we out.